three little catboy furries, they're going to be on the FBI radar for a long time. Because we're going to look at some of their wild hacks, okay? I've been considering quitting cybercrime lately, and the other members have agreed it's time to let this rest. So usually these kind of groups are an amalgamation of talented individuals, and once their mission in life is done, they can basically ride off into the sunset with whatever riches and, fame they've collected, and it is what it is. It's often better to split rather than be caught and effectively start finger pointing at each other. I think these people all know there is no honor amongst criminals, and that's why it's better to go off into your own directions and basically hide rather than remain a unit and consistently have law enforcement, hunting you down. So you can keep scrolling up and up and up, and you can find out that they've basically been hacking a fair amount of crazy things here. For instance, one of their hacks very, recently, July 7th, was actually the NATO portal. So here you can actually open up this image real quick and just show people that they were, in fact, apparently hacking around NATO portals, NATO information. They basically said, we breached NATO portals for the third time. We were able to access tens of thousands of documents for NATO headquarter consultation, command and control portal. Unfortunately, due to technical issues, we weren't able to automate exfiltration of the full set of documents. Yeah, you're reading it right here, ladies and gentlemen. They are, in fact, hacking NATO, all right? One of the biggest defense treaties imaginable, all right? So, according to what it actually got leaked out at all was around 845 megabytes of compressed data, information that belonged to 31 actual nations. And this was something that NATO actually obviously was investigating on to make sure if it was actually valid or not. So when they were asked about why did you even hack NATO, was there a political reason for it? Because people kind of assumed maybe it was due to the Russian-Ukraine invasion. What they had basically said was it has nothing to do with that. It's a retaliation against the countries of NATO for their attack on human rights. And also, it's fun to leak documents. Oh boy, the fucking furries are wild, the gay furries. It's bad enough getting hacked in a deadline is one thing, but when you add the furries to it in all the world headlines, that just makes you look even dumber. So here they actually had worked with a group, the threat intelligence firm known as CloudSec, and what they had said was they analyzed the data, and the data actually contained unclassified documents, but more importantly, 8,000 records of the personnel. So names, companies' units, working groups, job titles, business addresses, home addresses, and photos. And that is very dangerous, especially when you're working in a field like NATO or really any military-affiliated field. You don't want your personal home information out there because then you're involving more people in danger that are more than just you. At least when you sign up for the military, you're going to be in danger. But your family, you try to keep them pretty separated from all of this. And that's where, again, even the people watching this get a little bit confused by these situations. Like, what is this actually doing? So according to these guys, what they said is fuck every country supporting Israel, especially those in NATO. In addition to this new breach, they basically re-released the last two breaches, 8 gigabytes, to ensure the most leaked documents are in circulation. Stay tuned when we leak Joe Biden's DMs. Oh shit. So they actually apparently did leak like gigabytes worth of like NATO documents. I'm actually looking at them right here. NATO V1, NATO V2, NATO V3, all, basically tarred up and spread on the internet. And these are still available to download right now. Now, would I recommend you download NATO documentation and filter through it? Probably wouldn't invoke myself into this pile. Also, this is one of those things where it's like you just want to look at the train wreck. You don't want to jump in the middle of the trains actually impacting. And again, one of their other operations was Operation Israel, all right, where obviously they discussed it, where this is their first Israel run. They breached 2 major Israeli telecommunication companies, Bezek and Kelcom. So anyways, these gay furries ended up revealing the actual personal information of the people that were working in these IT companies and telecom companies. What they had done was they had accessed this administration's portal and took a peek at clientele emails and, emails related to power companies, as they say, construction companies, and very more. So clearly this is a scary situation, right? They're actually touching, at least from one mention, critical infrastructure when we're talking about power companies, right? So obviously then they were doing smaller things like hacking church websites. So it's kind of insane how they go from hacking NATO to hacking, the average church or whatever, right?